Hello friends, in today's video we're going to be changing the rear brake disc and the brake pads on this Audi RS3. This particular model is 2015 and it's the rear left hand side brake pads and the disc we're going to change. We've got the disc here. Okay, so the replacement disc is a high performance disc and the pads as well. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this clip here, retaining clip. Right, so next we need to remove two bolts, one here and one there, okay, to release the caliper. So for that we're going to remove the dust cap first. There we go. That's the top guide pin dust cap is out of the way. So just gonna pull the bottom one now, which is just here. Right, so next we're gonna use T45 bit to remove the guide pin bolts. Okay, so one here and one at the bottom here. There we go. So that's the top guide pin. Fully pushed back. So now we're gonna remove the bottom guide pin. So here we go. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a flathead screwdriver to pull the caliper off. Just gonna remove the brake pads. So the brake pad seems okay. The problem is the disc, which is gone down to the minimum limit. There we go. So that's the inner one. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this clamp which was holding the caliper itself. So for this clamp we're going to use a M14 spline tool. Just going to show you the bolts which we're going to take off. Okay. So there's one bolt here which we need to take off. This is M14 bolt, and there's one at the bottom, this one here. Right, so just gonna slacken off this bolt. There we go. There we go. So that's the top bolt. Loosened up. So just gonna loosen the bottom one now. Right, apologies for the camera angle. Just gonna show you from the top. So we slackened it off. We're just gonna remove this cable from here. That's gonna give us more leverage, and we'll be able to see the bottom bolt clearly. So these are the top and bottom clamp bolts which we are removing. There we go. There we go, that's the clamp out of the way. Right, now that I've taken the clamp off, now we'll be able to easily take the disc off. So in order to remove the disc, we're going to be using a T30 bit and the ratchet. There we go. So that's the bolt holding the disc is nicely removed. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the hammer to hit it on this side of the disc and this side of the disc, and that should release the disc. There we go. So that's the disc nicely out of the way. You can see the thickness of the disc. The old disc is gone down to the minimum thickness. Here comes the new performance disc. Make sure you give it a good clean with the brake cleaner before securing it back onto the hub. Just gonna secure the bolt back on. There we go, that's good enough. So the next what we're gonna do is we're gonna fit this caliper clamp back on. Should go in like this. 2 bolts retaining it. So that's the top bolt. Just gonna insert the bottom one now. So just gonna hand tighten it first, and then we're gonna torque it up with a torque wrench. So just gonna torque up these 2 bolts. There we go. So that's the top bolt fully secured. So just gonna secure the bottom one now. There we go. That's the bottom bolt, clamp bolt, nicely secured. So it was this bolt here and one at the bottom, so you can see the bracket, torque wrench. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wind the piston back. So the way we're going to wind the piston back is we're going to use this tool here. So just going to hold it here like this. Make sure that the handbrake is fully released, otherwise the piston won't push back. Right, so just gonna push the piston back. There we go, that's the piston fully home. Just gonna make sure, yeah, that's the piston fully home. So just gonna take this tool off the caliper. Here comes the new brake pads. Just gonna apply a little bit copper grease on each leg. That's good enough. So just gonna slide it in. That's good enough. That was the inner one. Here comes the outer one. A little bit of grease on the leg. There we go. Just gonna apply copper grease on the guide pins too. There we go. A little bit on this side. So this one slides here. There you go. So just gonna route through the brake bar sensor cable. Just gonna screw the guide pin. There we go. So that's the top guide pin fully secured. Just gonna secure the bottom one now. Right, here we go. Now that we have secured the caliper onto the clamp, the brake pads are nicely in place. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clip this hook just here like this, because on this particular model the brake rest sensor is done by the computer. So what we're gonna do is just gonna rest the cable here, the harness connector. There isn't any other area where you can connect it. I've checked the both sides So basically, once you change the brake pads and the discs, you have to use the diagnostic machine to reset the computer, and that's how you reset the brake aware warning light on the dash. So just gonna place the dust caps onto the guide pins. That's the top one. Here comes the bottom one. Just gonna place it, push it in here. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fit this clip to secure the outer side of the caliper. Right, so the way we're gonna fit this clip is like this. Okay, there we go. That's the clip fully home. Job done. Thank you very much for watching the video.